Atlantic Ocean, May 1943. A German U-boat captain spots something in the distance. Black smoke against the grey sky. A convoy, alone, damaged, perfect prey. He orders his crew to follow the smoke, full speed ahead. What he doesn't know is that smoke isn't an accident. And that convoy, it's not the hunter. He is. In the next 6 hours, this U-boat captain is going to make every decision exactly right, according to his training. Follow procedure perfectly. Do everything the German Navy taught him. And it's going to get him killed. Because the British just invented a new kind of warfare. And he's about to become the first victim of the greatest trap ever set at sea. This is the true story of Operation Smokescreen. And it's insane. Let's rewind to early 1943. The Allies are losing the Battle of the Atlantic. Badly. German U-boats are sinking cargo ships faster than they can be built. In March 1943 alone, U-boats sink 108 Allied ships. That's more than 3 ships every single day. Britain is running out of food, running out of fuel, running out of everything. And here's the nightmare. U-boats are nearly impossible to find. Think about it. The Atlantic Ocean is massive, 41 million square miles. And a U-boat, it's 250 feet long. Most of the time it's underwater. Finding one is like finding a needle in a haystack. If the haystack was the size of Africa, and the needle could move and hide, the Allies tried everything. They organized convoys with destroyer escorts. The U-boats adapted, started hunting in wolf packs. They used sonar. U-boats dove deeper. They used radar. U-boats learned to surface at night when radar was less effective. For every Allied countermove, the U-boats had an answer. But then a British naval officer named Captain Frederick Walker had a crazy idea. What if we stopped trying to find the U-boats? What if we made them find US? What if we could make a U-boat captain so confident he's found easy prey that he sails straight into a trap? His superiors thought he was insane. You can't bait a submarine like it's a fish. Walker smiled and said, "Watch me." Now, you might be thinking, just use a fake merchant ship as bait. Easy. The Germans already thought of that. They called them Q-ships, merchant ships with hidden guns. And U-boat captains learned to spot them a mile away. No, Walker needed something better, something the Germans had never seen. He needed to weaponize their own hunting instincts against them. Here's what Walker understood that nobody else did. U-boat captains weren't just following orders. They were hunters. And hunters have patterns. See, sinking a ship in 1943 wasn't just about winning the war. It was about tonnage. Every U-boat captain was competing for the highest score. Most tonnage sunk. Their names got published in German newspapers. They got medals, promotions, glory. So when a U-boat captain spotted a target, he wasn't just thinking tactically. He was thinking about his career, his reputation, his score. And Walker realized that ambition makes them predictable. A U-boat captain sees a damaged merchant ship limping along, smoke pouring from the stack, listing to one side, falling behind the convoy. What does he think? Easy kill, free tonnage, no risk. He surfaces to save torpedoes, uses his deck gun instead. Quick kill, conserves resources. This happened all the time. Standard U-boat procedure for damaged ships. Walker looked at this pattern and thought, what if the damaged ship isn't damaged? What if the smoke is fake? What if the ship that looks helpless is the most dangerous thing in the Atlantic? So he built exactly that. But here's the genius part. He didn't just build one trap. He built an entire ecosystem of traps. Multiple layers, multiple ships, multiple tricks. Because fooling a U-boat captain once is easy. Fooling him long enough to kill him, That requires theatre. Now I need you to understand something about Captain Walker. This guy wasn't some desk admiral playing with toy boats. He was out there, on the ocean, hunting U-boats personally, and he hated them. Not in an abstract, they're the enemy way, in a personal way, because he'd watched U-boats sink hospital ships, merchant vessels full of civilians, refugee ships. He'd pulled survivors from the water, listened to their stories. So when he designed this trap, he designed it to be absolutely brutal. Walker started with a merchant ship called the MV Andalusia. Now, this ship looked completely ordinary. Rust streaks down the hull, faded paint, typical cargo vessel. But Walker made some modifications. First, he installed a smoke generator, not in the engine, in a special compartment that could pump out thick black smoke on command, make it look like the engines were damaged or the ship was on fire. Second, he had his crew practice looking distressed. Yeah, really. They rehearsed acting panicked, running around on deck, launching lifeboats slowly, like they were abandoning ship. Third, and this is the brilliant part, he filled the cargo hold with empty oil drums. Why? Buoyancy. If the U-boat fired a torpedo and hit the ship, those oil drums would keep it afloat longer. The ship would look damaged but not sink immediately. A U-boat captain would see this and think, I need to finish it off. He'd surface, use his deck gun, get closer, exactly where Walker wanted him. But the Andalusia wasn't alone. See, here's where it gets really smart. Walker positioned 3 destroyer escorts just over the horizon, close enough to respond in minutes, far enough that they couldn't be spotted. The Andalusia had a radio transmitter, encrypted signal. The moment a U-boat took the bait, the destroyers would get the coordinates. And Walker added one more element, a submarine tracker. This was new technology, a device that could detect submarine propeller noise from miles away. The Andalusia had one hidden in the hull. So, even if the U-boat stayed submerged, Walker would know exactly where it was. The trap was set. Now they just needed a victim. May 19th, 1943. North Atlantic. Weather conditions, terrible. Rough seas, low visibility, perfect hunting weather for U-boats. The Andalusia is sailing with a convoy. Then, right on schedule, smoke starts pouring from its stack, thick, black, visible for miles. The Andalusia drops behind, starts listing to one side. The crew is on deck, looking panicked, signaling to other ships. The convoy keeps going. Standard procedure. Don't stop for stragglers. Too dangerous. And somewhere below the surface, U-531 is watching. The captain is Kapitan Lieutenant Herbert Neckel, 29 years old. This is his first command. He's hungry to prove himself. Through his periscope, he sees exactly what Walker wanted him to see. A damaged merchant ship, alone, defenseless. Neckel checks his charts. The convoy's getting away. If he chases them, it's risky. Lots of escorts. Could get depth charged. But this ship, it's a sure thing. He makes his decision. Surface. Use the deck gun. Save the torpedoes for bigger targets. U-531 rises from the deep. On the Andalusia, Walker's crew spots the periscope. Then the conning tower. They don't react. They keep playing their roles, panicking, running around. Some crew members start lowering lifeboats, slowly, clumsily. Neckel sees this through his binoculars. He smiles. They're abandoning ship. Perfect. He orders his deck gun crew to stations. The first shell screams across the water, hits the Andalusia's stern, right where those oil drums are stored. The ship shudders, but doesn't sink, just lists harder. Neckel frowns. That should have been enough. He fires again. Another hit. The Andalusia is definitely damaged now, taking on water, but still afloat. And this is when Neckel makes his fatal mistake. He moves closer, wants to finish it off. Conserve ammunition. U-531 is now less than 1,000 yards from the Andalusia. On the Andalusia, Walker's radio operator sends 3 clicks. Encrypted signal. Over the horizon, 3 destroyers turn hard, full speed toward the coordinates. Neckel doesn't know this yet. He's focused on his kill. He orders another shot. This one will sink her for sure. But then something happens that doesn't make sense. The Andalusia's smoke stops, not gradually, instantly, like someone flipped a switch, because someone did. Neckel stares through his binoculars. Something's wrong. The panicked crew on the Andalusia, they're not panicking anymore. They're running to positions, moving with military precision. And then he sees it. Canvas covers dropping from the deck, revealing guns, 4 of them, naval artillery. Neckel screams, "Dive! Dive! Dive!" But it's too late. The Andalusia opens fire. Now here's the thing about U-boats. They're built for stealth, not armor. The hull is just a few inches of steel. The Andalusia's first shot misses. Hits the water 30 feet short. The second shot hits the conning tower. Direct hit. Metal screeches. The tower crumples. Men are thrown into the water. Neckel is alive. Barely. Blood running down his face. He's screaming orders, but his crew is in chaos. U-531 starts to dive, but it's damaged. Water pouring in through the destroyed conning tower. And then Neckel hears something that makes his blood freeze. Propellers. Multiple ships. Coming fast. The destroyers have arrived. HMS Starling. HMS Wren. HMS Woodpecker. 3 destroyers against 1 damaged U-boat. This isn't a fight, it's an execution. The destroyers form a triangle around U-531's last known position. They can't see the sub. It's underwater now, but they know it's there. Walker is on the Starling. He's calm. He's done this before. He orders a creeping attack. Slow, methodical. Drop depth charges in a pattern. The first depth charge hits the water, sinks, explodes. The ocean erupts. A column of water shoots up 50 feet. Inside U-531, it's hell. The explosion throws men against bulkheads. Light bulbs shatter. Pipes burst. The submarine's hull groans. Metal bending under pressure. Neckel knows he's dead, but he's still a naval officer. He has to try. He orders the sub deeper. Maybe they can escape, slip under the destroyers. But the hull is already damaged. Every meter deeper increases the pressure. Another depth charge. Closer this time. The lights go out. Emergency lighting kicks in. Red glow. Water's coming in faster now. The bilge pumps can't keep up. Neckel looks at his crew. Young men, terrified, some crying. He makes a decision. Surface, prepare to abandon ship. It's over. U-531 breaks the surface, like a wounded whale. The conning tower is destroyed. The deck is buckled. It's sinking fast. Crew members scramble out of the hatches, jumping into the freezing Atlantic. The destroyers hold fire. They want prisoners, intelligence. Neckel is the last one out. Captains, tradition. He stands on what's left of the conning tower, watches his submarine sink. Less than an hour ago, he was hunting. Now, he's swimming for his life. The destroyers pull the Germans from the water. 47 survivors out of a crew of 54. Neckel is brought aboard the Starling, face bruised, uniform soaked, dignity gone. Walker is waiting for him. They stand there, British captain and German captain, eye to eye. Neckel expects mockery, gloating. Instead, Walker offers him a towel, a blanket, hot tea. "Good show," Walker says. "You fought well." Neckel stares at him, confused. Walker smiles. "But you followed the smoke. We knew you would." And that's when Neckel understands. All of it. The smoke wasn't damage. It was bait. The listing ship wasn't helpless. It was a predator. The easy kill was a death trap. He'd been played. From the first moment he saw that smoke trail, Walker has Neckel taken below. Dry clothes, medical attention, proper treatment. But he also has his intelligence officers begin interrogation. Gently, professionally, because Neckel knows things, U-boat tactics, codes, patterns. And over the next few weeks, Neckel talks. Not because he's weak, but because he realizes something. The war is lost. Maybe not officially, but effectively. If the British can bait U-boats this easily, if they've turned the hunted into hunters, the Battle of the Atlantic is over. He's right. Here's the crazy part. This wasn't a one-time thing. Walker used the smoke trail tactic again, and again, and again. Between May and August 1943, Walker's group sank 6 U-boats using variations of this exact trap. Different ships, different smoke patterns, same result. And the Germans, they never caught on. You'd think after U-531 went missing, German Naval Command would investigate, figure out what happened. But here's the thing about submarine warfare. U-boats went missing all the time. Mines, depth charges, equipment failure, bad luck. Nobody suspected it was the smoke. So, other U-boat captains kept taking the bait. June 1943. U-202 follows smoke to what looks like a damaged tanker, gets obliterated by hidden destroyers. July 1943. U-404 surfaces to finish off a sinking merchant ship. Artillery barrage sunk in minutes. August 1943. U-669. Same trap, same result. Each time, Walker refined the tactic, made it more convincing, added new elements. Sometimes, the bait ship would send fake distress signals. Engine fire, need assistance. Sometimes they'd actually launch lifeboats, empty ones, make it look like the crew was abandoning ship. One time, they had a crew member in a lifeboat waving a white flag. The U-boat surfaced to take prisoners. Walker's destroyers appeared and turned that U-boat into scrap metal. It was theatrical, ruthless, effective, and Walker loved it. See, to him, this wasn't just tactics, it was justice. Every U-boat he sank meant fewer Allied merchant ships torpedoed, fewer sailors drowning in freezing water, fewer civilian casualties. The man was on a crusade. By the end of 1943, Walker's group had the highest U-boat kill count in the entire Royal Navy. German submariners started calling the North Atlantic Walker's graveyard. If you were assigned to patrol zones where Walker operated, you wrote goodbye letters to your family, because the odds of coming back were not good. But why did this work so well? Why did U-boat captains keep falling for it? It comes down to psychology, specifically confirmation bias. See, U-boat captains were trained to spot damaged ships. That was literally their job. Black smoke from the stack, engine damage, ship listing to one side, hull breach, taking on water, crew in lifeboats, abandoning ship. These were reliable indicators. They worked 99% of the time. So when a U-boat captain saw all these signs, his brain didn't think trap. It thought opportunity. Confirmation bias means we see what we expect to see. And U-boat captains expected damaged ships to be damaged. Walker understood this. He gave them exactly what their training told them to look for. And here's the evil genius part. He made the trap slightly imperfect. The smoke wasn't too perfect. It varied, became thicker, thinner, like a real firewood. The crew's panic looked authentic because it was authentic at first. They practiced so much they got genuinely nervous. The lifeboats were launched clumsily because that's how frightened sailors would launch them. Every detail was designed to match a U-boat captain's mental model of a sinking ship, so they never questioned it. This is the same psychology that makes phishing emails work today. You see an email that looks like it's from your bank, uses the right logo, right language, right format. Your brain says, this is legitimate. Even if something feels slightly off, you override it because it matches your pattern recognition. Walker weaponized pattern recognition. He made the U-boat's greatest strength, their ability to identify vulnerable targets, into their fatal weakness. And this tactic, it's still used today, not with smoke, but with digital breadcrumbs. Cybersecurity experts use honeypots, fake servers that look vulnerable. Hackers attack them, get traced, get caught. Military intelligence uses fake communications, leaked documents that seem credible. Enemy intercepts them, acts on bad information. The principle is identical. Make the target see what they expect to see. Let their confidence blind them to danger. In World War II, it was smoke trails and damaged ships. Today, it's fake network vulnerabilities and planted intelligence. The technology changes. Human psychology doesn't. We're still pattern-seeking creatures. We still see what we expect to see. We still get overconfident when something looks like an easy win. Walker proved that the best traps don't fight against human nature. They use human nature. And that's a lesson that goes way beyond naval warfare. Think about it in your own life. How many times have you taken the easy path because it looked safe, looked obvious? How many times has the sure thing turned out to be a disaster? We all follow smoke trails. We all chase easy prey. The question is, how do we know when the smoke is real and when it's bait? Captain Frederick Walker became a legend, but not in the way you'd expect. He never got a big movie made about him, never became a household name. But among naval officers, the man is a god. By the end of the war, Walker's group had sunk 23 U-boats, more than any other anti-submarine unit in the Royal Navy. 23 submarines, each one carrying 50 to 60 men. That's over 1,000 German sailors, and probably thousands of Allied merchant sailors who didn't die because those U-boats were at the bottom of the ocean. But the cost was high. Walker pushed himself relentlessly. He was at sea almost constantly, barely slept, chain-smoked, lived on coffee and adrenaline. In July 1944, at age 48, he collapsed on the bridge of the Starling. Massive stroke, caused by stress and exhaustion. He died before reaching port. The man who hunted U-boats with such precision killed himself doing it. His crew was devastated. This wasn't just their commander. This was the guy who'd kept them alive, who turned the hunted into hunters. The Royal Navy gave him a full military funeral. Admirals attended. Medals were awarded posthumously. But the submariners, they gave him something else. German U-boat prisoners, when they heard Walker had died, observed a moment of silence. Think about that. He'd killed hundreds of their comrades, destroyed their submarines, helped win the Battle of the Atlantic, and they still respected him because he fought smart, he fought fair, he treated prisoners with dignity, he proved you could be ruthless and honorable at the same time. So, what happened to the smoke trail tactic after Walker died? It was declassified in the 1960s. German naval historians studied it, analyzed what went wrong. Their conclusion was brutal. Our commanders became complacent. They trusted their pattern recognition more than their caution. In other words, they got too confident. And confidence kills. The crazy thing is, this lesson had to be relearned over and over. Vietnam War. US forces used fake landing zones. Viet Cong set up ambushes. Americans walked into them because they looked right. Iraq War. IEDs disguised as everyday objects. Soldiers learned to suspect everything. Afghanistan. Fake defectors giving bad intelligence. Coalition forces acted on it. Walked into traps. Every generation thinks they're too smart to fall for the obvious trap. And every generation proves they're not. Because the obvious trap works because it's obvious. Our brains are wired to take shortcuts, recognize patterns, trust familiar signs. Walker understood this better than almost anyone. He didn't try to outsmart U-boat captains with complicated schemes. He just showed them what they wanted to see: a damaged ship, black smoke, easy kill, and they came running. You want to know the final irony? The Germans had their own version of this tactic. They'd used it in World War I. Disguised warships, fake merchant vessels, Q-ships. They invented this kind of deception. But by World War II, they'd forgotten. Or maybe they thought the Allies wouldn't use it. Or maybe they just got arrogant, thought their U-boats were too smart to fall for something that simple. Whatever the reason, they paid for it. Hundreds of submariners, billions of dollars in submarines, all because they followed the smoke. And here's what keeps me up at night. What smoke trails are we following? What obvious bait are we chasing because it looks too good to be true? In business, in relationships, in politics, the smoke is always there. The question is whether we're smart enough to ask, who's making this smoke and why do they want me to follow it? May 19th, 1943. A U-boat captain sees smoke on the horizon. He makes a decision. Follow it. Take the easy kill. 6 hours later, he's in the water. His submarine is gone. His crew is captured or dead. All because he trusted his training, trusted his eyes, trusted the pattern. The British didn't beat the U-boats with better technology. They beat them with better psychology. They turned the ocean into a stage. Every ship a prop. Every smoke trail a performance. And the U-boats? They were the audience, believing every scene, right up until the curtain fell. Captain Walker proved something that day, something that's still true. The best weapon isn't the one that fights harder. It's the one that makes the enemy defeat themselves. The smoke trail wasn't the trap. The confidence was, and that made all the difference.